Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael and we're going to be getting right back into some more Reddit stories. If you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's begin. This story was posted by a throwaway account in the Off My Chest subreddit. The post is titled, "My son will inherit, but his affair baby will receive nothing. My name is Emily and I have a 5-year-old son. My ex-husband cheated on me with his co-worker Bethany. I was 2 months pregnant with our second child when I found out. Bethany was going to have his child. I miscarried, my ex left the house to be with her. It has been 2 years since their child was born. My mother-in-law has been supportive of me and has had nothing to do with my ex or his mistress and their child. Up until a few months ago, I adore my in-laws and we are extremely close. My mother-in-law and my parents are the best of friends. She loves me and her grandson more than anything. This infuriates my ex-husband's affair partner. My in-laws cut contact with them straight away. Bethany was jealous that her child would never know the love of grandparents. At least her son has a father. This brings us to the problem. Unfortunately, my mother-in-law has been very ill for a while, so she has updated her will. My ex-husband was an only child, so he would get everything. But now, my son will inherit her house, villa, and money. I will receive a large portion of her money and all of her belongings. Until my son turns 18, it will be in my trust. If I pass before that, my parents will take care of it. They do not know this. The thing is, once they caught wind of her being ill, my ex-husband begged for forgiveness. The mistress started being nice toward her and forced her to be around his baby. My mother-in-law is bedbound, but she says she wants to leave with a bang, so she will endure this. I have not encouraged her to do anything, and this is her choice alone. They want her money, and her son thinks he is still included in the will. He also thinks his child will now be acknowledged by his grandmother and will also receive money. Now, my mother-in-law has not actually said she has forgiven them. She despises her son and his mistress for tearing apart our family. She wants to reward those who deserve it and get revenge in one go. The mistress keeps hinting about how her child will grow up and attend a great college whenever she is around my mother-in-law. Actually, my mother-in-law's niece has overheard her on the phone discussing what wallpaper she wants in the dining room when she moves in, and how my mother-in-law has no taste whatsoever. She also mentioned how she will finally be able to take down pictures of my son when my ex owns the house. Too bad for her, it will belong to my son. No changes will be made until my son becomes 18. It is his grandmother's home and he should be allowed to cherish it in the way she has decorated it. I am not really allowed to tell anyone, and though this revenge will be satisfying, I will have to lose my mother-in-law. It is kind of a win-lose situation, and I dread the day when she will take her last breath. She means a lot to me. I love her. She wants this for her grandson and has said that she cannot rest until she knows her son and his mistress have been punished. She wants this because her childhood was also ruined because of her father and his affair partner. She wants my son to know he was loved and will always be loved. I hope my son will always value the great women in his life. I wish he had more time with his grandmother. I might make an update if anyone wants it, though I pray to God it is a long time before that. Edit, I thought this post would attract just a handful of people, but wow, thank you all for listening to me and giving me advice. As for those who are angry at me for not asking my mother-in-law to include my ex's new child, I cannot do anything about that. Yes, I am happy and that is selfish, but I am going to put myself and my son first. That child contributed to my miscarriage and is one of the reasons why my son has not had a father for over 2 years. I cannot change my mother-in-law's mind about him. I do pity the baby, but it is not up to me to fend for it. It is not my responsibility. I have tried talking to my mother-in-law, but she has had her whole childhood ruined because her father made his affair children his top priority. This is why she wants nothing to do with it or her son. He knows that she went through so much because of cheaters, yet he decided to do the same to her. He has seen his grandfather favor his aunt and uncle over his mother. If this happened to you, you would not be so happy about sharing yet another thing with the baby. Thank you again to those who have listened to me, and I have read out the nice comments to my mother-in-law. We have had a great laugh together. Edit 2, the mistress would send me photos of her ultrasounds after I miscarried, either to me or to my family. In the first envelope, she sent a letter full of the nastiest things about me, my son, and my miscarried baby. She even tagged me on social media on an account I did not know about. It was an invitation to her baby shower. She has done plenty of disgusting and hurtful things to me regarding my miscarried baby. The people who are coming at me in the comments would not be as civil as me if anything like that happened to them. Ignoring her child is honestly the best option. I do not want my son to grow up with her son. And to those who are insulting and saying rude things about my dying mother-in-law, you are truly disgusting. Restless Otter said, I'm sorry that this situation is bittersweet though. I hope your mother-in-law gets better. To This Acceptable Cup said, careful, your trash ex sounds like the person you should prepare yourself against. I am not judging or anything, but a major anger reaction fueled by the mistress could get you and your baby killed, and it would serve no purpose. Make sure you catch those signs before it is too late, and make sure you keep them away physically. Sabahaya said, please have the will reviewed by your lawyer to ensure it is airtight and to prevent any loopholes just in case your ex-husband decides to contest it. To This OP said, yes, she has had that done by 2 separate lawyers, and my ex-husband willingly gave me full custody of our son. He shot himself in the leg. Wittiest Phrase said, I just hope the changes to the will were done by the book and are well documented. You can almost guarantee your ex will contest it. This next story was made in the same subreddit by a user named Illustrious Tip. The post is titled, My fiance accused me of cheating, then he kicked me and our baby out. I gave him the paternity test results and now he wants us back. I'm 23 years old, female, and I am at a loss. My ex-fiance, who is 24 years old, male, and I recently had a baby boy. Our son came out looking like me. I have 2 other children from a previous relationship, and my family's genes are very strong. 2 months ago, my fiance ambushed me in our kitchen and told me he knew that our son wasn't his, that he always knew I was a whore and a liar, and told me to get my stuff and get me and the little bastard out of the house. I thought he was joking at first and laughed, but he grabbed me by my hair and dragged me out of the house. Our son was screaming at this point, and he picked him up and brought him to me, tossing him in my arms. Had I not already recovered from him laying hands on me, I would have dropped him. I was bawling as I called the police. They came and escorted me through the house to get my belongings. I don't know why, but something inside me snapped. I went straight to my lawyer and had a paternity test done. Shortly after, the results came back. He was 100% the father. I dropped the envelope with the results off in his mailbox, and about an hour later, my phone exploded with apologies and excuses. He called me at least 40 times before I finally answered. He immediately began sobbing, saying he was so sorry and he never should have doubted me. His mom and sister had told him that they had seen a man leaving our home who resembled our son. I asked him why he didn't dig for more details and ask me before he went insane on me, and that I would never forgive him for putting his hands on me. He sobbed and begged more, asking me to think of our son and my other children who loved him and he loved them as his own. I don't know what to do. He called me just a few hours ago and I haven't responded since. What do? I want my children to have that good father figure back, but I don't know after seeing that dark side of him. Update. I have placed a restraining order on my now ex and I sold the ring. I got a car and a rental home and also paid for a few months advance on daycare for my children. I'll be restarting my nursing school plan, which I had put on hold for him, and have blocked every person, be it family or friend, who thinks I should go back to him. I love my children more than anything in the world, and him just throwing us out like garbage like that opened my eyes to what was really going on in his mind. The look he gave me that day has given me nightmares, and I'm currently looking for a good therapist. Thank you for all the tips and support from everyone. It means the world to me. Edit, his family is from old money and I am not. I was raised with buttered bread and hamburger helper. He was raised on $1,000 dinners. So the ring was by far the most expensive thing I ever owned in my life. I couldn't bring myself to give it back to that monster, so I used it to pay for a new life for myself and my children. So far, none of them have shown signs of trauma from the incident, but I'm keeping a close eye on them just in case. I never knew how trapped I was until I got away. So to anyone out there who feels that way, go. Don't stick around like I did. It could mean your life. I was lucky. And again, thank you everyone for your support. Fred Red Fooey said, he is violent, explosive, and doesn't trust you. His mom was nasty on purpose. You do not want to have anything to do with him. Co-parent through an app and your lawyer only. He could very easily get violent again at the slightest provocation, especially if his mom wants you gone. To this, Serena said, this was a very hard read, not because of the lack of punctuation, but because it ended with, I don't know what to do. What you do is stay as far away from his abusive self as possible and only communicate when necessary, and even then it should be through a lawyer, an app, or whatever means you can. You do not get back together with him, and you do not allow him to be alone with your child. This man is violent. He called your son a bastard and forcibly removed you from your own home. Stay far, far away from the psycho. Lost Ad said, he crossed a line into physical violence. Think long and hard about that. He did not try to verify the information or have a conversation. Instead, he attacked you verbally and then physically. Do you think you and your kids will be safe around him? What happens the next time he gets mad? Also interesting to note that he did not apologize until he had clear evidence he was wrong. He should have apologized no matter what for how he acted. To this, Perk said, very good observation. The physical violence and the fact that he threw OP out without so much as a discussion would be enough for me to say goodbye and file a petition for child support. Children should not be subjected to someone who has demonstrated physical or mental abuse. In this case, the accusations and name-calling. He showed his true self. This final post was made in the AITA subreddit by a deleted user. The post is titled, I don't want to be my wife's backup plan. My wife and I have 3 kids and have been having marital problems for years. It reached a boiling point at the end of 2021, and we separated but got back together in 2022. Part of the condition for getting back together was that we attend therapy every 2 weeks for an entire year. We only ended up doing therapy for about 3 or 4 months. My wife said she wasn't getting anything out of it and didn't see the point in going so often. We both disliked the therapist, so I agreed, and we had noticed that things were getting better, so we were working on it on our own. The reasons we went to therapy and why we were having problems were, she was not attracted to me at all anymore. She didn't want me touching her, she felt repelled by my touch and didn't want hugs, kisses, cuddling, or any type of affection. She wanted to explore her sexuality with other people, men or women. We've been together since our early teens and have only been with each other. She wanted to be alone. She had this feeling that she would be happier by herself. Things were getting better until a few days ago. I found an old confession she had written out from 18 years ago when a mutual friend kissed her. That was supposed to have been the entire story, but it details how much she liked the attention, and she actually pulled him into another room and kissed him. It didn't go any further than that, but I was still reeling. I asked her about it, and she said it was so long ago that she didn't really remember, but we're married, and she's been faithful for the entire time, and we have a life together. I said okay, and that it would take me a little while to get over it, but our marriage wasn't in jeopardy, and I just needed some time to adjust. Friday night, she told me a mutual guy friend who she was talking to said they weren't going to be talking anymore. He was using my wife as an emotional support crutch, and his therapist suggested he stop leaning on her so much. I didn't like how much they chatted, but never voiced this. I asked her if there was more to this, and she confessed that he's been saying I love you for a while, and on Monday made a joke about how he liked her ass. All she said was, dude, come on, and he apologized, but I was upset that she didn't shut that down or draw a boundary. He was also asking her to hang out just the 2 of them, and she said no. Yesterday was a special anniversary for us, and I wasn't in a good mood. We went for a walk, and she kept asking me what was wrong, so I told her. I said I'm upset about the cheating situation, I'm upset that you didn't set clear boundaries and shut his advances down sooner, and I'm upset that I keep planning activities for anniversaries for years and you couldn't be bothered to plan anything for today. As we were walking, I noticed she was starting to cry, so we sat down on a bench. I asked her what was wrong, and she basically told me she still wants to explore things sexually with other people. She likes the attention she gets from other men. She still wants to be alone, and she's still repelled by my touch and has been pretending for a year but doesn't want any physical affection from me whatsoever. She says she doesn't want to lose me or the life we've built. We agreed to go back into therapy, but after thinking about it last night, I'm not sure if I want to continue. She's lied about so much, and I feel like I'm just her safety net. I'm waiting for her to decide to end the marriage because she wants to sleep with other people or just be alone, and I don't think it's fair for me to be a backup plan. I apologize for the length of the post, but I felt full context was needed. Would I be the asshole if I asked for a divorce even though we agreed to go to therapy? Edit. For those people who have messaged me to ask, I'd like to clarify a couple of things. We both share responsibilities for the house. We both do dishes, laundry, cleaning, and taking care of the kids. And we don't have any problems communicating about household tasks. I'm not some fat, negligent husband who sits on his ass and lets her watch the kids and cook and clean. The reason I wanted to stop therapy with this therapist was that my wife was chatting with a coworker and the messages went inappropriate. I was fixing a backup phone that our kids use at work when I saw the messages pop up. I asked her about them and she gaslit me. She had already deleted them and told me they didn't exist. When I told her I saw them on the other phone, she apologized and confessed and stopped talking to the coworker. When I told the therapist this, she brushed it off and made it seem like it was my fault, and I realized that she only had my wife's interest at heart and not mine. My wife has always had validation issues. She loses all common sense when someone else compliments her or gives her attention. I have tried for 20 years to be enough for her, but she finds other people's comments to be better. Why am I still here? Despite everything, I absolutely love my wife with all of my heart. We have 3 children who I don't want to lose 50% of my time with, which will happen if we go shared custody. She is the most beautiful woman I've ever laid eyes on, and she still makes me weak. 3 kids and 20 years later. I'm going to get a lot of insults for this, but this is the hardest decision of my life, and I don't want to live without her. I understand that for my own value and self-respect, I might have to, but it's incredibly hard. Update. Just wanted to update everyone who sent me messages, who were interested, and who offered advice. I read through over 1,000 posts over 2 days, and last night I had a conversation with my wife. I wrote it down on my phone and asked her to listen to it and not interrupt, and we could talk after. Start of note. I don't know what you thought you were going to accomplish by telling me that you are repelled by my touch, you want to explore your sexuality with other men and women, and you want to be alone. I think you thought if you were just being honest, it was right and okay, but it showed me just how little respect you have for me. I don't think you realize just how insulting and disrespectful everything you said is. You do not consider my feelings at all. You seek validation from other men and never set any proper boundaries until either I find out or a line has been crossed. I literally cannot remember a time in 20 years where you have said, "Stop, this is inappropriate and I don't think it should go any further." You let mutual friend tell you he loved you and liked your ass, and you weren't even the one to stop communication. He was. His therapist could tell the conversation was unhealthy. I could tell the conversation was unhealthy, but you couldn't. You either don't respect me enough to put my feelings ahead of your own need for validation, or you simply don't care. I can't fix this, and you don't seem to want to fix this. I have been there for you for 20 years. I have never wavered in my love for you, my affection, or my devotion, but you can't say the same. You clearly think you're missing out on something and think exploring that in the arms of another person will fill that hole inside of you, but it won't. All it will do is leave you completely and entirely alone. Our family will be gone. I will be gone, and you will have nothing at all because you think the grass might be greener on the other side. I can't imagine a person who has a loving husband who cares for them, respects them, and thinks the world of them, who has 3 beautiful kids, a great support network, good friends, and a loving family, thinking that if they abandon their entire life for some fleeting new experience, they will be fulfilled. You use me, plain and simple. I am a safety net for you. You can spend all the time in the world trying to figure yourself out, and you'll have a safe spot to come home to. Not a partner, not someone you treat as a husband, but someone you lie to, lead on, and take advantage of. I am not a fallback, I am not a safety net. I am a person who absolutely deserves love, touch, romance, and admiration. I deserve respect and reciprocation. I want to be clear that I absolutely think you're not telling me about these issues and letting an entire year pass while letting me think things were improving and getting better is lying by omission. I will be attending therapy by myself to find out why I've been such a doormat, to figure out why I've tolerated such abuse and neglect from the person who was supposed to guard and protect me, who was supposed to share my life forever. I am not at this time asking for a divorce, and provided you are not asking for one, things will need to move forward differently. You will need to attend therapy by yourself. After 6 months of both of us being in therapy, we can talk about doing couples therapy. You will stop seeking validation from other men. I do not want to police your conversations, but single men should not be people you talk to daily until you go through therapy and can clearly set boundaries and enforce them if they are broken. You have to win me back. You will have to woo me and get me to fall in love with you again. I expect romance in dates and in our daily lives. The fact that I can't be romantic with you because you decided you didn't like it, but also decided that because you don't like romance, I don't deserve it, is very selfish. I will not, under any circumstances, accept an open marriage. I don't ever want to hear of it again. I am not okay with you being sexual with men or women other than myself. Asking for monogamy shouldn't be that big of an ask, and if that truly is a deal breaker for you, I understand, and we can divorce and you can pursue other people. I acknowledge that some of what I'm saying is demanding, but I am standing up for myself and what I want. I deserve better and will not settle for just enough any longer. If anything I've said here makes you want to say you are done, we can separate and file for divorce. We'll sell the house and agree upon a 50-50 custody agreement for the kids. I will never use the kids to hurt you and will co-parent with you to the absolute best of my abilities. Despite the harsh tone, I will still reiterate that I love you with all of my heart and want to spend my entire life with you, watching our children grow up together, but I will not be an afterthought anymore. I won't play second fiddle to an imaginary life you might want to pursue. End of note. One of the things she has always said to me when we have conversations is, I don't know if I'll ever be enough for you. She says this because she doesn't know if she can meet my expectations of what a good, loving wife should be. I told her this time that you may think you don't know if you can be enough for me, but I right now know I am not enough for you. We talked for a while and she is going to therapy. We are going to work on our relationship, and while I know many, if not all of you, think I should just divorce her right now, I can't just throw away 20 years without giving it my absolute all. I don't know if this will work out or not, but I thank each and every one of you for helping me find the strength to stand up for myself. It might not be the ending you wanted to see, but I am hopeful. Sleepy Dormouse said, yeah, this won't end well, she's completely checked out, and he's getting to that point too. Staying together will only prolong their misery. Best to just split clean now and go their separate ways. OP can work on himself and find better while she recovers from whatever void she feels, which she won't be able to heal through exploration. They've been together for 20 years. They started dating when they were 14 or 15. Most relationships don't survive such a long time because people change and sometimes feel like they missed out. If they've been having marital problems for years and therapy isn't helping, there's not much more to do. You have to work to fix a broken marriage, and it seems like his wife isn't willing to. To this, Stinston said, when I got engaged, my dad said to me, it takes two people to get married and it takes two people to stay married. What he meant was that both parties have to be on the same page, want the same things, and be true partners. He said that the moment one person wants something else, is no longer content, or is on a different page, it is the beginning of the end. OP has been at the beginning of the end for some time now. If his wife wanted to make things work, she would have found a different therapist instead of completely abandoning marriage counseling. She would be in individual counseling and she would know how to draw boundaries when interacting with men. The really harsh truth is that sometimes love is just not enough. Another harsh reality is that they got together at a very young age. Who they are now is not who they were when they fell in love. They have grown apart, not together. You cannot put a band-aid on a huge bleeding wound. What they can do is separate as amicably as possible. They should put their kids first and put a co-parenting plan in place. They should shift their focus to their kids. The funny thing is that most people do not realize how smart and sharp kids are and how they know instinctively when there is discontent in the home and when their parents are not happy. The lesson they teach their kids by walking away is that everything does not always work out, but you can choose to walk away from a bad situation for your peace of mind, mental well-being, and happiness. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video, and thank you also to partner of the channel, Gamersupps. Use code DLAM to support the channel and get 10% off of your purchase, link in the description. I'm sure many of you like me have a hankering for daily caffeine, so go check them out. Lately, I've been a big fan of Titty Milk and Acid Rain, but they've got dozens of other flavors for y'all to try out. Anyway, thanks again for reaching the end, and I hope you all have an amazing passage of the next 24 hours.